Hey guys, welcome back to another Answering Your Questions video. We are definitely really long overdue for one of these. It's been crazy busy, so it's currently 11 p.m. at night, and I wanted to fire off and answer some questions. So, dove through some recent comments and found some good ones to hopefully give you guys some value. So let's, in no particular order, answer 10 questions. Let's get to the first one right now. Also, tea time. So on my real estate photography, breaking down my workflow, I find it so funny that this video is still my #1 video and it's the least produced one. I just think it's kind of ironic because I'm so big on production and quality and all of that, but I filmed that on like an iPhone 10. Anyway, the information's good. How many images do you deliver? How long does it take to edit these? So I replied back with, I don't edit them anymore, we outsource them, even though at the time I was editing these and each listing would take me a couple hours to go through it because I was so meticulous. But the main reason I wanted to include this question is because a lot of people don't know that we actually deliver a ton of images, probably more than most people do. And that's kind of one of the things that I feel like makes us stand out. Because we do the square footage model and we're more in the luxury space, I believe that the amount of photos you deliver should be based on just the house, the type of house it is, the quality, the needs that home has, that property, not like a set photo package or a set amount of like we deliver 32 photos or even 50 photos, because honestly for most of our listings we deliver well over 50 photos, but even though we outsource our photos, that cost is well covered because of the price point we're at, the properties we do. And I feel like that's one of the big reasons that people use this over others. Obviously, it's the quality and the customer service, but the fact that we deliver more than they probably need and they can just have a big library to choose from. So I've definitely noticed whenever we get new clients, they mention that like, wow, y'all deliver so many images and I have more than I need. So it's definitely a good reason to do that. And that's all a combination of your wide angle photos, drone photos that we include in all of the photo listings, and detail feature shots that we shoot with like a 50mm prime lens. So good variety. This is on another episode of Answering Your Questions. Pretty cool. With your outsourced editor, do you request them to send the video project file for each one so you can make your own adjustments? Wanted to include this because some people might have this question, and I did whenever I first started working with an editor. No, I don't. I fully expect my video editor to create the video from start to finish and basically deliver the final video deliverable to me. And then after that, we go through revisions and so on. But what I'm trying to say is they do the work from start to finish and I direct it. And even if it wanted to send me the files, it would be useless to me because my video editor edits in Final Cut and I'm in Premiere Pro still. So yeah, but it was definitely really hard to get to that mentality. Basically the same as like we do with the real estate photos. You know, they send us the final photos, not just like, you know, almost complete photos. But with video, one of the things I love working with a video editor that's full-time to us, committed to us on a monthly basis, is we get to grow, develop, have that relationship, that feedback, that back and forth on each project. Sometimes we'll be approached with a new video project that is pretty unique, not just a traditional walkthrough video, and we get to go back and forth on a few revisions. Or, you know, my workflow is I initially send them the project, all the video files through a Dropbox link, and then a very thorough notes section of, you know, how the script is or the direction of the video or any tips or notes they might need to know while editing the video. So very in depth. Then when I get that first edit back, I go through it thoroughly, and if there's any things that I would change or mistakes I caught, anything like that, I send it back to them and then they do the revision real quick, and then typically either on that first or second draft, it's good to go. And even for more complex videos like event highlights or marketing videos, things like that, which again is great because if this was just like an outsourced video company, I wouldn't have that relationship, that back and forth, and it would just be very difficult and time consuming, which you can't really do in real estate. Moving on, day in the life of the real estate photographer, videographer. I really want to do more videos like this, like day in the life, raw, vlog, uncut stuff. Just feel like that'd be cool. Monday through Friday, when do you edit? Do you outsource everything? So I wanted to mention this because, yeah, Monday through Friday is kind of like to what we're at now. And what I'm trying to say is I'm the busiest. We are the busiest we've been ever. So I'm trying to maintain and how to sustain all of this business because it's becoming to the point where it's almost unmanageable, and I'm looking to bring on now like a listing videographer, someone that can also step in to do property videos while I'm doing content shoots, things like that. And if I had to edit any of this work, it would not be possible. Straight up, we would have to just say no to business. And it's, that's why I honestly have been not uploading as frequently on the channels, because I just don't have time, and why I'm also filming at 11 p.m. because I want to get more videos out. And this is the only time I seem to be able to do it right now. So I feel like once you get to the point where you're maxed out and you're editing all of your own work and you've reached the limit, that's when you have to outsource and start editing. I feel like, and I've said this before, I feel like people get into this field, coming from another industry, or maybe they're just starting out as a photographer, videographer, and immediately want to start outsourcing their work. And the problem with that is two things. One, you won't know how to do it yourself if you have to. And two, it's just going to be a big overhead cost immediately. And you're going to be making like no money when you're already not making a lot in the beginning. So I'd say learn to do it yourself in the beginning, outsource when the need comes, and grow your team. Like now I have we outsource to a photo editor. I have a full-time video editor because the need calls for it, not just because I don't want to edit. Even though I don't do a lot of editing, I still do. I edited a real estate video project today and all the content you see here on the channel. Moving on to the next one, and this is on the how to shoot real estate videos. I want to make a new updated version of this one. And this is also a very raw vlog style video. That's also one of my top viewed videos. Love how this video came out. Just curious on how big of a part your overall business video walkthroughs are. Is that something that is a must to offer at the start? So it kind of depends. If you're going to be a real estate media business, absolutely. You definitely want to dive into the video side. I feel like that's just as popular, if not almost like a necessity, as photos. I feel like my business is definitely at least 50-50 on photo and video, if not even more heavy on the video side. So to answer this question, I think videos in general are a huge part of our business, especially on the property video side. But the fact that we can cater to different types of videos is a huge plus. We don't just offer only traditional cinematic real estate videos or only trendy social vertical videos. So what I'm trying to say is we can develop different styles of real estate videos that cater to our clients, still with our high production, high quality background and the way I want everything done, but it's not like just offering one style of video. I hope that makes sense. And if you look at the previous video before this, where I was breaking down the numbers of my business for the previous year, 2024, that shows that our photo video package for properties was the number 2 most ordered package, with first being photos. So yeah, definitely important. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is on one of my headshot video series. Another question, how can you make money at $200 per shot if you have to drive all over Houston to get the client, gas prices alone, but the highest cost, your time? So wanted to answer this question because yes, the idea to drive around to go do a $150, $200 headshot for one client is honestly absurd. That's not what I'm trying to pitch. The idea being that you pitch and try and do multiple subjects, multiple people, like a company or a real estate team at that price point, $150 per head or whatever that cost is, but doing multiple of them. So it does make it worth it to go out and shoot, yes, one headshot for $150, but maybe 10 of them. So for example, one of our clients that's not a real estate related company at all is actually a medical research company here in Houston, Texas. And we've been doing their headshots for years, like over 5 years now. We probably do a couple shoots of them a month. They are growing like crazy. Every time they get like a huge wave of new hires, we go do like anywhere from 20 to 30, if not 40 headshots at once, at one session. And all of those are typically $125 to $150 per person. So you can do the math and you can tell that that definitely results in a really good high paying day. And that was what I was trying to pitch with that video. Not necessarily go do one person, one subject for $150 and that's it. Now, when people reach out to us and they're like, we need a new headshot or a mini session with you, what do you charge? I do have a minimum of at least 3. I think I have a couple packages like in the business, like $350, $500, and so on. Each one adding on either more time or different outfits or more photo deliverables. That way, even though I'm shooting one subject, that $350 price point, they're getting maybe a few variations on the headshots, a mini lifestyle photo session, and 10 to 15 edits or something like that. So it definitely makes it worth it for us to go out there, spend an hour with them at a location, not just $150 for that one photo like I guess this person thought I was talking about. And I've always had this idea where I've had like a minimum amount that I always want to make whenever I go to a shoot. So even though, like I said, this might be $200 or $150 for one headshot, we're going to be doing multiple to make it worth it. Same with real estate. That's why I've always believed in, kind of the basis of my real estate media business is to target luxury properties because the price point is higher. Yes, we might have to spend half the day out there, but we'd be making what we would be shooting at like 4 to 5 properties driving around, and that's not what I want to do. Next up, very simple one. What do you suggest? The DJI RS4 or the Zhiyun Crane 4? So, shot with the Zhiyun Crane 4 for a majority of last year. Great gimbal, nothing against it. It did have a couple of weird things in the beginning, and some firmware updates fixed it. Then it came out with the Crane 4 SE, which is like a lighter, more affordable version, stripped away some things that I didn't use. But now, where is it? Since I put out the DJI RS4 Pro video on my channel, which was maybe a few months ago, I've been using that. So the DJI RS4 Pro, it's definitely a step above from the Zhiyun, in my opinion, from the Crane 4. DJI has always been, I feel like, the best at stabilization, and their user interface, all of that, just feels very high quality, and I think it's even a bit more smoother, like the results are. Very happy with it. And I swear I'm not going to be doing any more so many gimbal reviews, but I do have a video coming out on the RS4 Mini. This just came out recently. That video isn't out yet, but, or maybe it is by the time this video comes out. I don't even know. But this is the RS4 Mini. It's the mini version of the RS4, and it's actually really good. If you have a small camera setup, definitely recommend. It's literally the same thing as the RS4 or the RS4 Pro, but just smaller and lighter. So if you have a small enough camera setup like an R6 Mark II with a 15 to 35, which I've used it on this, it works great. So there's my mini review. Definitely recommend it. This next one, polarizer or ND filter. So I feel like a lot of people, when they start out, they get these two confused and just think, oh, I'm shooting outside, that immediately equals ND filter. And then if I'm shooting inside, use the polarizer. So let me explain. On ultra wide angle lenses, for example, the 15 to 35 or your standard 16 to 35, when you use a variable ND filter on there, because that field of view is so wide, you're gonna almost 9 times out of 10 get weird vignetting that kind of ruins your image sometimes, especially if you have a big sky in the image. In your shot, you're gonna get like that dark vignetting. I've not come across any variable ND that doesn't do that, even though all of them are great. The ones that I use by Moment, which are years old, still work great. But if you're not shooting at 15 millimeters or ultra wide, if I'm shooting at 24, 35, 50, 70, like on my 24 to 70, it works great. And I actually do use that when I'm shooting detailed video shots with my 24 to 70 outside, so I can get that depth of field and, you know, really highlight the details, things like that. But what I'm trying to say is, when I'm only shooting a property video, I typically just use a CPL inside and outside. So whether you're gonna shoot the outside at f10 to keep your shutter speed correct, double the frame rate, or you're just gonna crank your shutter and shoot at whatever aperture you want, you don't really still, again, need a variable ND filter. If anything, a CPL would be better to control, you know, the intensity of the sky, or reduce reflections and glare off the greenery or things like that. A CPL would be a lot more beneficial to use inside and outside a property. I only would say use a variable ND filter if you're filming a subject and you need your shutter speed to be correct. You know, if you're shooting it at 24 frames per second or even 30, that way you could film wide open at like 2.8, have your shutter speed correct, and then, you know, darken your image with a variable ND. So yeah, all in all, I use a CPL for property shots and a variable ND if it's not ultra wide focal lengths or I'm shooting something that has to have really correct shutter, like at real time, like a subject or someone on camera. All right, here's another one. What are your specs on your Mac Mini? So wanted to highlight this because I'm still using the Mac Mini M2 Pro base. Nothing is upgraded other than nothing is upgraded at all. It is the base Mac Mini M2 Pro. Still gets the job done. I feel like the YouTube videos that I still edit on this channel are way more extensive than regular real estate video projects. Obviously, my video editor typically handles those entirely. I just edit the stuff on my channel now. That stuff is more intensive, and the computer handles all that stuff great. Photoshop stuff, Lightroom, I still do a lot of portrait photo editing and retouching, and it gets the job done no problem, so you don't need to have the latest and greatest in my opinion. Tech is really, really good now, and I feel like I'll definitely keep using this for a good while. Funny enough, this right here, I want to show off this very ancient computer. This is a 2019 maxed out MacBook Pro that cost 2 times the price, no, 3 or 4 times the price of my Mac Mini M2 Pro, which is insane. And this only had a lifespan of like 1-2 years. The second I got the new camera, the R6 Mark II, way back then, it could not run it. This computer could not handle those codecs or anything. Then I had to jump to the Mac Mini M2 Pro because we were getting more business and I couldn't edit it. So yeah, in my opinion, if you're doing, property videos and social media content, things like that, you don't need an ultra maxed out computer unless you're doing crazy in-depth effects in After Effects or other programs. Then yeah, maybe you have to get something that's more powerful. But that Mac Mini M2 Pro has been great. I like this so far, having some tea, answering some questions. I have no distractions because my daughter's asleep. And yeah, kind of like the vibe of this. Let me know. Maybe I'll watch this in the morning when I start to edit it and be like, no go. Next up, thanks for a great review. Do you use the Logitech keyboard and mouse? Do you like them? So I wanted to include this since I answered that question on the Mac Mini. This is the MX Keys Mini, and this is my computer's going to turn on, but this is the MX Master 3S. Oh, wow, it didn't. So these are the ones that I use with the Mac Mini M2 Pro. No complaints. Really like these. I'm sure the Apple ones are great, but these are a lot more affordable, and I've just used Logitech stuff, and I saw really good reviews. Love the ergonomics of this mouse, but it might just be this mouse or whatever, a deal with it, but sometimes when I'm scrolling, and if I'm using it to zoom into something like my timeline in Premiere or into a photo, I'll do one skip, or one little scroll, and it'll zoom in to the max, and it's really annoying because then I have to zoom out to where I'm really trying to go. Other than that, the battery life and all of this works great. This keyboard is also fantastic. For me, I like it's small because this isn't a really big desk. The only thing it doesn't have is a next track button. It has a pause button right next to the volume keys, but it doesn't have something where you can, if I'm listening, I always listen to a Spotify chill playlist while I'm editing. I can't hit skip to the next track. I actually have to open Spotify and then click the next track. And I'm sure someone in the comments is going to tell me, oh, you can actually do this, or on the mouse, and, I'll learn that. But yeah, definitely do like this. Last but not least, do you offer coaching? Wanted to include this because most people might not know, and yes, I actually do. So on my website, I offer a one-on-one video chat, video call that we can do, where once you purchase it, we will get together through email and chat about setting a time and also what you want to go over. Let's say you give me 3 or 5 topics that you're wanting to cover in depth. We have a video chat through Google Meet for an hour, talk about everything, give you as much info as I can on whatever you're looking for, and yeah, go from there. And the people that I've had that have taken it have actually said it was really valuable, and I helped them with whatever they were looking for. So if you're looking for that, go to the link in my bio to go to my website, check it out. So yeah, just wanted to answer that and let you all know that I do offer that along with the community. So if you want to actually get some mentoring or learn from other people and join a community for this stuff, I offer that on my website as well. It's only $5 per month. You get access to a private Discord group, BTS, and exclusive video series I offer on there. In case the one-on-one is a little bit out of your range right now, that might be a good start, because honestly, the Discord group, the amount of people we have in there and the amount of people that are doing some awesome work and constantly chime in with their own feedback and ideas is great. I learn a lot, especially from, it's so awesome that it's such a diverse group of people all over the country, all over the world, giving their feedbacks, sharing their work, and I'm learning a lot at the same time. So really happy that that community is growing and people are getting value out of it. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. That is a wrap on this Answering Your Questions episode. This is episode 6, I believe. Hopefully after this, if this formula works for me, just filming them at night, diving in and answering some questions, I will hopefully be doing this a lot more often. And I really love this series because it's so low pressure, very chill and relaxed, answering some questions. Hopefully the knowledge I share is valuable to you guys from answering these comments. But yeah, I will definitely, hopefully be doing a lot more of these and some more content on the channel that I want to be different from what I've been doing up until this point. Still, sharing knowledge and gear reviews and, behind the scenes of the business, things like that. But just want more of a different approach, kind of going back to the roots on why I wanted to start this in the first place. So We shall see if I actually do anything differently. So leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down your thoughts, subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for you guys to be part of the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. I'm going to go get ready for bed.